Yo,
y-
yo, fellas, what happens to a hate watch when you hate both teams?
you you find joy somewhere. Because to me personally, not that I was rooting for Liverpool, but I was rooting for a Newcastle loss, right? And when I realized that wasn't happening, I'd say probably around 20 minutes into the game, I realized Newcastle gonna win today. I was like, I was like, okay, where can I find joy? Let me observe Mo Salah. Oh my goodness, 0 XG generated today, incredible.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is your host, Tosin, alongside Coach and Dean. Fellas, how you doing? How's your weekend? Everything's good?
Yeah, man, all good. Can't complain. Um, yeah, we beat Chelsea, and I can't really swear, but that's what that matters, isn't it? You guys know what I want to say.
You always start the pod during Ramadan by saying you can't really swear. Then I don't know if you realize this because you edit this pod as well, but you swear throughout the pod. It's hilarious. Every time I just keep my laughter to myself because I'm like, yes, another one for me. You know?
Because that's what Chelsea can do to you, bro.
Well, since you can't say it, I'll say it for both of us. Fuck Chelsea. How are you, Tosin?
Hey, listen, my team won. I'm fantastic. Top of the top.
Pretty much. That's how you're supposed to feel. If your team won, then you're good. If your team didn't win, I don't know what that feels like.
Because we're going to go start off in Spain because one team thought they were going to win that didn't win. And that's Atletico Madrid, who hosted Barcelona. They were up 2-0 and the game ended up 4-2. Dean, I want to pose this question for you. What happened there?
Um, I don't. To me, it feels like typical Atleti. They're just so comfortable as like culturally. Diego Simeone, his whole thing is about playing on the break. Like even if he has sort of transformed the team a bit, added a couple different profiles, like take playing Robin Norman and Clement Longley as the central defenders, which means they have better passing but less Gidigbo. But even so, they still kind of play the same way when they're playing against teams that are as good as them or better than them. They just have more moments in the game where they can control for longer to give themselves more chances to get goals. And today it looked like they were going to get away with it, but they kind of just absorbed pressure after the goal and played on the break. And no matter how good you are defensively, you can only absorb pressure for so long. Like the winning goal from Yamal, beautiful aesthetically, but it was a deflection. Typically, deflections go in your net because there's just a bunch of people in front of your goalkeeper blocking his view. You know, so that's probably what happened. And they've had a rough week, but that shit was hilarious, coach.
I'll go on record and say I said it in one of my group chats that I feel no sympathy for teams that play the way Atleti do. It's funny as hell to watch when they, annoying teams and stuff like that. But when they lose, I'm even a part of me is even quite happy because it's like it's another sort of lesson for you to learn that you can't play that way all the time. Like you're 2-0 up, and as soon as you go 2-0 up, you go to 5 at the back, and then you end up conceding 4 goals after going 5 at the back. You got exactly what you deserved, genuinely. And I think throughout the game, which was interesting, was their mid block is incredible, but Pedri was finding gaps one way or the other. He was whether it was through him driving the ball and dribbling, or whether it was passing. Just before Atleti took the lead, actually, he had an amazing piece of play where he driven with the ball and found the pass to Lewandowski, and Lewandowski's hit the crossbar. And the next attack, they scored. Basically, Atletico scored. Um, yeah, I think I don't really have any sympathy for them. I will say though, they had their chances at 1-0 and 2-0 at 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, should I say. I think Solos had a good chance at 2-1. But Solos scores the exact same goal in his entire career. In fact, the 3 goals he scored this season against Barcelona are all carbon copies of each other. They're all exactly the same. you know?
I will say this, Salah's last name matches the way that he plays. It doesn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense. He plays like a Soloth.
Nah, he plays like Johnny Bravo. And I thought harassment was going to work today, but unfortunately his coach is a coward. So there you go.
Yeah. Anything else you guys take away from this game? I mean, I
Uh,
kind of felt that Barcelona was gonna win anyway, no matter what hijinks they want the ball. I just feel like Atleti just isn't of that ilk. Like they're good, but they're not that good. Does that make sense?
Well, Dean, obviously alluded to the fact that they've got Longley in defence, which I think we've spoken about before. Where it's just like that's not an athletic defender. He's just not. He really isn't. So
No, sir. You know who he is?
go on.
He is the John Stones of Victor Lindelof's.
Okay, okay. That took a while for me to actually process, but I think I see it.
I'm allowing it only because nobody that heard that understands it. So that makes it okay. However, respect John Stones. I just want to say, despite all the corruption surrounding that man's career, I feel like he's been thoroughly disrespected, like throughout
Nah,
his.
he's really good.
He's
I just wanted to say that Long Lay and Victor Lindelof are of the same ilk.
you're
That's
right.
all I could say.
That ain't a lie either. That ain't a lie. But yeah, now Barcelona are top of the league.
Mhm.
Is it gonna stay messy, or do we think?
I
Do
hope
we?
it does. I hope it. Atleti are obviously not done, but this is a huge blow to them. Like huge blow to them. I'm still gonna stick with my prediction that whoever lost the Madrid derby could win La Liga, and I'm still gonna stick with that. Basically, Madrid derby in the Champions League, should I say? And I'm still gonna stick with that.
Yeah, I think to sum this game up, I would say it's like the perfect encapsulation of what typically happens to good teams when their dreams in Europe are dashed in midweek. You almost always come home and lose that game. Now, if you can somehow not lose that game, then the rest of your season might be okay. But generally, once a team has those two losses on the bounce, you get knocked out of Europe, then you lose the next game. And
Spooky.
that's
It's
yes, that's
spooky.
looking spooky is the word. Spooky is the word.
Speaking of spooky, do you guys know how many goals Kylian Mbappe has in the league so far?
20,
Wrong. It's like
21
it's almost close to like 31. No, no, I
in the
mean
league.
altogether. In the league is like 21, but altogether it's like 31.
Yeah,
And he's close to like having the most goals in a single season for Real Madrid. It's close, like like for in the debut season. The
Oh,
debut was 37. Yeah, debut's 37.
you're
I
muted,
can't.
coach. I don't know why.
pardon me. The debut season record, I think, was it Ronaldo?
It's got to
No,
be.
It
it's
was.
Zamora. It was the Mexican striker at 37.
Oh, really? Well, he's beaten R9's record, which was 30, and he's
Mhm.
already on 32 or 31 now. So
Mhm.
I know he beat R9's record. But yeah, he's probably gonna beat the Mexican's record. So call him. What's his name?
Who's the
Adrian
Mexican?
Broner.
Hugo Sanchez?
I think it is. I think it is. I'll double check that. But talk to me about the game, coach.
Put it like this: I think Real Madrid have a bunch of issues in general, just with injuries and structure and stuff like that. But you can't legislate for the attack. They started today. They started yesterday, shall I say, with just Rodrigo and Mbappe, and that was enough. So yeah, I think put it like this: Villarreal had their moments, and they really do. Real Madrid really do struggle against
False.
teams that essentially don't really allow them to play their game, as in to get out to them. Real Madrid's defense to me still is shaky. Structurally in midfield, the gaps are still there. The running power on their legs isn't quite there, but that don't matter. Kylian Mbappe plays for them. You know what I mean? Against teams in the half of the table against Villarreal, it's going to be enough most weeks. Had they played Barcelona this weekend, they probably would have got slapped, absolutely slapped. But I think overall, Real Madrid are still kind of banking on their best players through the center of the pitch, basically, all regaining fitness and sharpness as soon as possible. Because if not, even in the Champions League, yeah, they're going to be favourites against Arsenal, kind of thing. They could be facing problems in La Liga as well. They got Clásico coming up as well. Barcelona, I think, right now have what, a 9-2 aggregate lead in them this season of how many times they play. So, yeah, I actually think it could be spooky for them on that May 11th. So
Yeah. I was mistaken. It was not a Mexican. It was a Chilean. Ivan Zamorano. I had 37.
Zamorano, yeah.
92, 93. Yeah.
And Ben Zamorano, very good player. Inter low-key legend, by the way. Yeah. Plus, he was one that had the number with the 1+8,
Yeah.
which was memorable. So I'm in full scouting. I watch Real Madrid most weeks, but I'm in full scouting mode right now because the next big thing in Arsenal season, the team I support, is a quarterfinal against Real Madrid, and that's not to overlook Fulham and whoever else were playing before them. But what I noticed today, Real Madrid set pieces, they look shaky. Every time Villarreal had a corner, which they scored from to start the game, Juan Foyth, former Spurs guy, they just look shaky on every corner, which was weird. I didn't really notice that prior to this game. So that is encouraging given the team I support. And
their fans actually say it weekly. They say how bad they are defending set pieces, to be fair.
Fair enough then. I don't hang out with Real Madrid fans because I like my sanity. They don't seem like good people. And second thing I noticed was how shaky they are. Villarreal actually put on a high press for huge chunks of the game. And I was shocked to watch Real Madrid's defenders struggle to play out of a high press. Like you just expect with the quality of the players, you expect them to be able to just do that anyway. But there was a definite lack of structure. So those are two areas that I'm sure a certain nice hairline, big brained fella at London Coney will be noticing.
Yeah.
I did say it's again. I genuinely do think it's player quality, but also I think it's just structure as well. The players that Ancelotti has fit and available right now, because the structure he wants to play, for example, with sometimes I've seen them play build up in a 2-3 kind of thing. What they have available at times with Tchouaméni sometimes play centre back, it's not quite working. Like, and Rudiger's fantastic, and he is pretty good on the ball, but he's not he's not Eder Militao. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they yeah, they're just there's just a lack of actual. It's weird saying it's technical ability from deep for them. So
Yeah. Well, speaking of Mikel Arteta and the player linked to him, his team, Nico Williams, they went away to Sevilla to go host to play against them, and Bilbao beat them 1-0. Uri Alvarez scored the winner in the 84th. But Nico Williams, he scored a double over in a week, but he's looking spry again. He's looking like himself. So good for Nico. He's finally showing that he's actually is better than the big brother.
yeah, Sevilla probably will be kicking themselves. They played quite well. They could have scored a few goals before Bilbao got their winner. But I think that's a story of Sevilla right now for the last few years, kind of thing. Like they're just not good enough. Like these sorts of performances are typical, I think, of them in general. Like, and this is one of the better performances, but they lose way too many games. Like way too many games playing like this.
Instead of them to play well on the pitch, they're pandering to Nigerians. But go ahead, Dean.
I ain't got nothing to add. They're just not very good. I think for them, it's all about avoiding relegation. It looks like they're maybe good enough to do that this season. I don't particularly know because I don't look that low on any table.
Rayo Vallecano and Sociedad was 2-2. Zubimendi scored from a corner. Does that make him eligible for Arsenal now?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Bring him. Big Berta. That's your first assignment. Not resigning Saliba, not resigning. I seen this motherfucker score direct from a corner, not an Olympico. It got crossed to him. He hit it one time. Nice finish. But I'm sorry. Like, his resume is complete, coach. What you saying? Unmute yourself.
I will say, like, there was a lot of chatter in midweek about how people wanted to come to Arsenal now because they seen him against United, blah blah blah. I'm sorry to say, Tosin, outside of you and maybe another half human being, there is no such thing as an intelligent United fan. Like, judging a centre midfielder on a performance of where you just come back from, I think, injury or sickness, and on top of that they had to play with 10 men as well. I'm not being funny. That's just very short sighted. Like, if a team could do with a midfielder like Zubimendi, it's probably United anyway. We're stacking him for stacking sake. But yeah, I like him. I like how forward thinking he is. I'm not huge on these physical attributes, but I think we've kind of got enough of that at Arsenal already. So bring me some more
Technique.
more technical Smurfs. You know what I mean? Like bring me more of those kind of thing. But yeah, I'm personally not mad at him as long as we supplement it with whoever else is going to be there.
Speaking of transfers, Leganes hosted Betis and lost 3-2. They were up 2-0 and Betis marked the comeback. Anthony was basically man of the match, right? We could say that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Dean, question for you. How much do you think United going to fetch for him this summer?
£12 million. I mean, how much do you think you're going to fetch for him?
Just enough to break even. That's all I care about.
I don't. What does that?
100 million, bro. Come on, bro.
Nah, we need like 30-something mil to balance it out.
That's doable. As a wise man once said, Anthony ain't worth 80 million with 80 million in his pocket. So forget about no breaking even. Forget that shit.
Coach, can we get the standings so we can head out of here and go over to Germany? You're on mute again, my friend.
Pardon me. With Barca obviously winning now, they're now level on points with Real Madrid, but with a game in hand. And then Atleti are back in third, 4 points behind them on 56 points, and Bilbao are in fourth with 52 points. Villarreal and Real Betis ran off the top six, both on 44 points. So yeah, Barca are clearly the form team in La Liga, along with Real Betis.
Good for them. Over in Germany, Union Berlin and Bayern Munich was 1-1. Bayern had 80% of the possession. He only managed to get one shot on goal, just one goal in the 75th via Leroy Sané. I think he's out this summer too. I think Leroy Sané, when he's tired of Germany. And guess who scored the equalizer? Benedict Holleback girl. Few times been around that track because he's from Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't he used to play for them? I was gonna say.
He did.
He ain't no Holleback girl.
Yeah, but I don't know if you motherfuckers are as paranoid as I am, but I'm looking at this season in its entirety. And I know Bayern are ahead in the Bundesliga and they've been somewhat dominant in a lot of games like this, but I look at results like this. I look at some of the stuff that's happened in Europe. I feel like out of nowhere they're just gonna fire a company and everyone will just kind of be like, we kind of expected it. Even though he kind of has the results. Am I tripping?
I mean,
No.
the day that coach pointed out he looked like Sheik Lutz, I knew he was finished. So
Yeah, he's too, how do I put it? He's too rapper for them. Yeah, I'm not gonna. That's the PC way of saying it. But look, there is what 8 games left of the season, and they are 6 points ahead of Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not saying they will collapse, but I did say, I want to say 3 weeks ago, that we might see a late Leverkusen rally, and here we are, a few weeks later, and they're only 6 points behind them again. Stranger things have happened, you know. I'm like, Vincent, you got to sort something out, and now you got to prioritize Champions League as well. You know what I'm saying? Those games in between, like those European hangover matches, you know what I mean? You just had one this week as well. It's looking spicy.
And they
It's
have
looking spicy.
Inter. They have Inter.
This is what I'm saying.
That is maybe the most difficult draw in Europe outside of Real Madrid.
Yeah, so I think I'm personally not. I'm not giving up hope on Bayer Leverkusen. They could end up, you know, 3 points behind them with like 3 games left. Who knows?
that's a good segue because
So,
Bayer Leverkusen, they were down 3-1 to Stuttgart and ended up winning 4-3. Listen, Bayer Leverkusen tapped into that juju. They're out of the Champions League. They just got to just focus on the league, right? Dean, question for you. Do you think they're gonna come back? Do you think it's possible?
Well, coach is super optimistic. Anything is possible, obviously, but I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't see it happening. I think they've shown too much frailty throughout the season, and I know there's no deserve in this sport, but I don't feel like they've played well enough this season to deserve it. You know, so I can't even like root for them on some they played better football than Bayern type shit. Like no, then watching them just embarrass themselves in that Champions League quarterfinal. I mean, round of 16 game against Bayern. I wasn't having that. I feel like at a bare minimum, that Champions League tie has given Bayern sort of like the mental edge over them. So no matter what Bayern does, Leverkusen will find a way to fuck up enough for Bayern to crawl over the line. That's what I think will happen.
They did play well today, though. That comeback was beautiful. Patrick Schick obviously scored, but yeah, it's interesting times in Germany. Coach, you got anything you added on the title race?
yeah, just on Bayern calling over the title, that's what's going to lead to the company being sacked, because they'll probably win it with a game or two to spare, and that's not good enough. Because Bayern are usually used to win the league by game week 20, so that's not going to be good for Rummenigge, clearly.
But do you think they'll give him a pass because last year they didn't even fucking win the title?
It's Bayern Munich, bro. What do you think?
Or not? They will not give him a pass.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
do you guys think they'll hire?
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
Well, I'll tell you
Um,
this much: he's not going to be black.
yeah, that's for sure. That's a really, really good question. They won't go back for Nagelsmann, clearly. They're not going to try and tempt Enrique.
That I'm gonna take a wild swing at this. I'm going for Thiago Motta.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Juventus will shit can Thiago Motta,
Yeah.
and Bayern will be like, he has the right style, and they'll hire him too. You know,
I don't know, you know.
or they'll get the guy from the Honus kid from Stuttgart.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was
Okay.
waiting for someone to go there. So
Okay.
yeah, well, interesting. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. Leipzig hosted Dortmund and beat them 2-0. Xavi Simmons and Luis Openda got the goals. Xavi Simmons had a goal and an assist. Dortmund are I don't know, man. They made a decent contest, obviously tried to, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about Bayern, man. Coach, take it away, man. I have nothing nice to say about this team.
Dortmund are again European hangover.
Yeah.
They didn't offer much, but really it's more about Leipzig for me. Their shape has changed quite a few times this season because their front four still kind of have a front four, but the guys behind them, it's more like almost like a 3-3 sort of build up shape at this point now, rather than obviously spreading the fullbacks wider, should I say? But Simmons' goal was great. Openda's goal, I think, was even better. A volley from a corner. But the most gripping thing for me was his celebration. And from what I can see, and people correct me if I'm wrong, direct me to it if you can.
Guys,
Openda did
peace.
Karim Adeyemi's celebration, right?
Yep.
He did his celebration, and I haven't seen anybody going nuts in how disrespectful it is, anything like that. I thought it was fantastic. Maybe because I'm a nerd and he was mimicking a move from an anime, right? But even then, I think it was just pretty cool that that celebration is synonymous with what's the other blonde guy that plays for them, the really good one,
Julian Brand.
Brand, that's the one. Brand and Adeyemi both trade the celebration from the same anime kind of thing. Like they do different characters stuff like that. And then Openda's done it, and he's done it in such an almost disrespectful way, kind of thing. So much so that I was like, hold on a second, that feels a little bit violent. There feels a little bit of needle there. You know what I mean? Like,
Listen, man, if Karim Adeyemi was white, then we'd have an issue. But there's no problem. That said, I thought he was just giving a shout out to the tribal chief, to Roman Reigns. But you anime niggas gonna claim everything, so just claim it then, I guess.
it was Gear Second. It was basically Gear Second, and it's crazy. Dortmund actually had the actual creator of the anime One Piece do like a special illustration for them. Like that's how deep in Dortmund are with them now at this point. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Well, how about he illustrates some fucking wins? How about that?
Yeah, that is hilarious. Thank you for telling us about anime, because I know nothing about Metal Gear Solid or whatever the fuck you just said. Let me get the standings in Germany.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
What's the standings looking like in Germany?
What do you think, bro? like really. Bayern 26 played 62 points. Leverkusen, as we mentioned, only 6 points behind them, 56 points. And then Eintracht Frankfurt are on 45 points in third place, right?
I want to, in my defense, real quick, I want to make the point that I didn't include them in the rundown this week because Hugo didn't score. And if Hugo didn't score, I don't give a fuck.
But he did assist, and it was quite a good assist, actually, to be fair.
Like I said, he won goals at Arsenal. Okay, I'm not
Leipzig, after their win, they've had a terrible run of form, by the way, on 42 points, along with Freiburg on 42 points to round out the top 6.
There we go. We're going over to Italy, where Atalanta hosted Inter in probably the biggest game of this season. Notice that Dean's eyes are lighting up because they won 2-0. Dean, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Hey, man, like, you know what? I'm not even going to stunt too hard. I feel like this is the best version of Inter I've seen in a couple weeks. I was really impressed by the way they played. Despite lacking a couple of their main guys through injury, Marcus Thuram should have opened scoring pretty early. I know coach is going to get on here and curse his father's name and all that, but remember, when you curse the Thuram name, that is a name that produced 2 Serie A players, okay? Actually, those are balls, actually, to reiterate. That said, Inter were well worth the win. And
Fire, lava, spirit. I'm sorry.
But more importantly, I think we need to remember that Inter haven't lost to Atalanta since September 2018. So this was never really in doubt. I mean, I felt like the best Atalanta could do in this game was get a draw from Inter. And despite Inter's dominance to start the game, I thought Atalanta were good. Then there was a stoppage in the game. There was a medical incident in the crowd. The game stopped for I want to say 10 minutes. The players were sort of getting the referee's attention to help send medical attention, so on in the crowd. And that put a bit of a lull in the game. And this was around the beginning of the second half. I want to say 50th minute or so. And from the corner that they were waiting to take, Inter take the lead through Carlos Augusto, who I believe was replacing Di Marco in this game. And the header was so free that I knew it could only be Kolasinac marking him because that motherfucker is fat. Anyway, after that point, I was pretty comfortable that Inter could see it out. I just didn't see see Atalanta bringing much threat. They brought Charles de Ketelaere on, and he kind of made things a little spicy for a second, but nothing was really popping. I can't remember a whole lot of saves that Summer had to make in the whole game, really. And once Ederson got a red card for a double descent for the same passage of play, it was over. Lautaro got one near the end. It was deserved. And Inter are 3 points ahead at the top of Serie A, baby. I told y'all motherfuckers, man, this shit is only gonna go one way.
Coach, anything you add about this game? I know you're going to talk about Marcus Thuram's braids.
No, not really. You know, it is what it is. Like the game was 0-0. He went through on goal and hits the post. Those are not Marcus Thuram goals. In fact, Lautaro today scored a Thuram goal. To be fair, when the team's down to 10 men, you know, you score a goal just to add the icing on the cake. So yeah, that's what I have to add to it.
Jonathan Davis' team lost to a team.
We're in Italy. Do you want a map? Do you want a map? Damn American.
Points to coach.
They still speak the romantic languages. And fuck you is the same in Italian and French. Venezia and Napoli was 0-0. Napoli, I had a friend actually went to this game, and he told me, and I quote, "I paid all this money to see McTominay hide away from the ball and Lukaku have terrible touches." And I was like, well, what did you expect? Anyways, they drew against Venezia, and that was that. So nothing special.
All season, you know, I mean, to win, you need a little bit of luck. That's a fact, you know, like there's no team at the top of their league that hasn't had luck in certain games. I just kind of feel like Napoli had a lot of it to start the season. And I say luck because even in their good games, they don't really create a lot of chances. So at some point, when your XG conversion regresses to the mean, you start dropping points. And that's all I was waiting on. I think this is basically going to continue because I cannot think of an Antonio Conte team, maybe outside of the team, the Juventus team that had Pogba, Pirlo, Marquisio, and I think Arturo Vidal in midfield.
Yeah.
What a midfield. God.
What a midfield. But outside of that team, I can't really think of a Conte team that was like really good attacking wise. It's always been very disciplined at the back, get a goal or two, close shop. You know, so if you can't hoop when it comes time to hoop during the league season, because there are periods where you have to grind results out, and there are periods where you have to just shoot people out. And this is a period where they need to like get their chance creation up, and it's just not happening because they're playing people like McTominay, who occasionally hides from the ball in midfield. So yeah, this is where the drop off begins, even though they don't have Europe and Inter does.
That's tough. Unfortunate. Milan hosted Como to beat them 2-1. Some good news for American fans. Christian Pulisic signed a new contract, and he also helped the comeback. Bad news, Yunus Musa did not score a chance. Very disgusting stuff. Coach, question for you. If Cesc is such a promising coach, how come, Milan had the best game offensive-wise against Como?
Because Milan can only play against teams that open themselves up. You know, Fabregas is a bigger philosopher when it comes to, you know, the game should be played a certain way. So that means he's going to give chances to the other team, and I love it because you're going to get absolutely smoked. You're going to get absolutely walloped.
Sometimes
walloped.
It's okay.
Whatever. I don't. Because he's going to try it with slightly better players at a slightly bigger club. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's so brave, so this or that, and he's gonna lose 7-0 one week, and I'm gonna be there to laugh in his face. But anyway, that's besides the point. I think there's a conversation to be had really about Milan and where they're at and what they're doing, because there seems to be so much drama with them in general. There's so much stuff that's happening on the pitch, but off the pitch. So their best player this season is someone that most fans can't even agree on how consistent he's been, which tells me that his actual value and quality probably lies in the middle between extremely good and just okay.
Who is that?
Oh, Reinders. Like, he scored a winner, and he's a fantastic footballer. Do not get me wrong. I know that for a fact. It's just the phases in games where he's not dominating on the ball. He's just like, what else are you doing for me, basically? You know what I mean? That's where I'm looking for a bit more from him there. But with that being said, if he keeps scoring winners, like, I think this is his best goal scoring season ever, I want to say. And they've tied him down to a new contract as well. Can't really be too mad if, you know, I feel like a lot of midfielders end up going through that phase where they get an eye for goal 1 season or 2 seasons kind of thing, and their off the ball responsibilities kind of take a bit of a nosedive at times. But it is what it is, man. But yeah, Dele Alli, guys, what the hell?
Well, it was really nice to see him.
Yeah.
I totally forgotten that he was at Como. He came when I was like, oh shit, he's at Como. Then I think it was like 8 minutes later that he went off for for an unfortunate foul on Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who happens to be his friend. He didn't mean it. Even Kyle Walker did something really nice, useless but nice. When the red card came out, he was trying to stop the ref from giving him the red card. Which is kind of cool. We all know why he did all that, but at the same time was very. I think the kids used to call it virtual signaling back in the day. I don't know what we call it now in this post DEI world we live in.
Aura
But
forming.
what's that?
Aura forming.
You're just saying anything, I swear. You're not just saying anything, man.
But yeah, it was an unfortunate reintroduction to the elite level of the game. But in the little time he was on there, he looked like he belonged. And hopefully once he serves a suspension, which is deserved. Honestly, this is one of those moments where I'm like, I get why this happened the way it did, but when you rewind it and really think about it, it's one of the moments where I feel like VAR is maybe not good for our game. Because for me, that's one of those things where if you stop the photo and you look at his studs on Ruben Loftus-Cheek's leg, red card. But if you just watch the play run through like you did in real time, it's like, okay, it wasn't it was a yellow card. It's not a red card. But when you freeze frame or you do something in slow motion, it always looks more dangerous or cooler or whatever it is. But what's done is done. Can't wait to see him again. It was nice to see him.
Him and Ruben Loftus-Cheek text each other after the game too, like two light-skinned niggas with their friends. So they posted a conversation. They're all good. They're cool. So
Yeah,
I think the most unsettling thing about that whole text was the fact that I found out Ruben Loftus-Cheek is 29 years old.
yeah, he's 21.
No. What?
the most unsettling thing about that text exchange was that they shared it with us. I don't want
Yeah.
to see what
No,
the fuck these
He's
assholes are talking
29.
about.
I remember watching him in that
It was-
Chelsea team,
It
right?
was born in 1996, bro. That's how
Yeah,
time.
that Chelsea team with Lewis Baker, I think Josh McEachran as well, just a bunch of just big brolic, ridiculously talented Chelsea footballers to the point where coaches up and down the country were like, "Can we drug test these kids because they shouldn't be this big and fast at all."
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I remember many a game. I remember many a game where Arsenal went up against them, and Serge Gnabry was literally the only one that looked like, yeah, he belongs here against these guys, because
See.
Gnabry was the best academy product I think we've seen in ages anyway. But them Chelsea boys were different, and you're telling me it's been that long since then?
Olino was part of them too, right?
Well, I think it's a couple years younger. He might have been. There was a
No,
couple other guys.
Olino is 96 as well.
He's 27 though. Olana is 27 though.
No, he's not.
This is how I know you have a little bit of CTE, coach, because you just talked about how you saw people play against Serge Gnabry.
Yeah.
How old is Serge Gnabry?
Yeah, I know, bro, but it's unsettling.
Do you know, coach? Do you?
Yeah, he's 29.
There you go. Everybody 29. They were all kids at the same time. Like, damn, that's how it works.
That is still unsettling. I remember there was a FA Cup youth game in the Emirates, right? And the Chelsea gave us the work. I can't even lie.
Yeah, it was Olino, and Olino was born in 96 as well. They're the same age,
Why
bro.
did I think he was 27 this whole time? Oh my gosh.
You
Fair
got
enough.
CTE, bro.
You know what it is? I'm gonna blame it on Ramadan. I've literally consumed only like 1,000 calories today, guys. Forgive.
Yes. Perfect. Blame God. Okay. I see how it is.
You know who should be blaming God? Juventus, because something is not right with them. Fiorentina hosted them. They beat them 3-0. I know we can talk shit all day about Juventus, but tactically, Fiorentina was spot on today. They did their damn thing, and they picked Juventus apart. I mean, there are rumors now of, Thiago Motta leaving and all of that. Dean, how do you feel about the rumors of Motta leaving? You think he's deserved?
It makes sense. I mean, the whole point of, well, first off, if you're the manager at Juventus, say what you want about them, but the manager's job there, I mean, at every club, but especially Juventus, is to win games. He's not winning enough games, so let's put that aside. The more important factor to me is that he was brought in with a bit of a remit to have them playing a more attractive style, refresh the team, rejuvenate the team, all that good stuff you hear when a new young coach is coming in with a great system. And we frankly had not seen any of that this season. There's this point where people are like, well, we could have just kept Allegri for this shit. So, yeah, if they fire him for once, I would say Juve did the right thing. Because I also don't get the sense that the players are so enamored with him that they're playing hard for him or whatever. I just don't see it. I mean, the best opportunities they created in this game were basically Tim Weah cutting in from right back and taking pot shots. Like, come on, like they're not paying you for that level of offensive chance creation, you know. So I didn't enjoy what they did today. Fiorentina had a pretty wonderful day, but it really wasn't hard for them to have the good day they had, to be honest with you. Like Juventus just didn't really. Juventus looked a lot like another team we'll talk about later, a team in red whose season is about to fall apart, but we'll get to that later.
Guys, I will say, you know, when I knew that the multi experiment ended, when they started putting Coop Miners as a winger, I was like, yeah, you've lost the plot.
That is criminal. That is criminal. Like there's nothing about Coop Miner's game that suggests that he'll be good out wide.
No, he doesn't got the pace of. First of all, he doesn't got the pace. Second
Yeah,
of all,
he's too slow, too
He's too
weak,
Dutch.
and
He's
he's got shit hair. So.
there you go. And he's named
yeah.
after the fucking Super Mario character. Fuck that.
Man, you know who had a worse day than Juventus though? Lazio. The right wingers got beat to a pulp. Every time I looked at my app, I was like, "What is Bologna doing to them?" And then Orsolini and Fabian, who scored a really good goal, and Orsolini did some great. He did a great celebration. I was like, "Yo, they're having a good time over there." So yeah,
Yeah, man, that was a hell of a game just from an aesthetic standpoint. Just beautiful goals, beautiful play from Bologna. This Vincenzo Italiano manager, man. I think it was Fiorentina a little
he
while ago.
was.
I forget it was
He
last
was.
season or the season before that, but
Mhm.
people said he did a good job there. But it's Italy; you get fired whether you do a good job or not. And he's basically improved a lot of the guys at Bologna. I mean, we kind of expected them to drop off after Motta left for Juventus, but that's not really what's happened because they're currently in fourth, which
Yep.
is kind of insane to think about because the whole season we haven't really talked about them that much outside of, oh, Dan Ndoye is scoring goals now, which he wasn't really doing last season, you know. So you have to give the manager credit for that. But ultimately, I really need everyone listening to this to go watch the highlights of that game. And if you're just gonna focus on one thing, just focus on the fifth goal. It was tremendous. Like the team play before that goal was beautiful. And shout out Orsolini. He scored another lovely goal. I think he has like 10 goals and 11 assists this season, but he didn't get called up to the Italy squad. So that's what his celebration was about. He runs up to the camera and knocks on the camera a couple times to be like, hey man, put me on the bus.
I cook at the
Call me in.
pasta.
Yeah, I cook at the pasta. Yes, he did. He did indeed cook at the pasta. You know, so
And
he's telling
even Victor
what's it, Spalletti
Lozano.
to look out for him.
Yeah, well, you know, Roma beat Cagliari 1-0. Dovbeck got the winner from a corner, and good for them. Question. This is gonna be hard-hitting questions because that's what we do over here. Is the legend Claudio Ranieri a better coach than Pep Guardiola?
Yeah.
What?
So here's the thing, right? And just guys, just walk with me. I need you to walk with me. I've only seen one of those coaches. Genuinely, I've only seen one of those coaches manage a team that has Wes Morgan and win a league title. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else can claim that. But yeah. So that's where I'm gonna leave it.
I mean, Coach basically said it all. Put it this way, I've seen Claudio Ranieri exist in a number of different contexts, and most of the time, he's done pretty well. He's gotten a lot of credit in the bank from things he's done in the past. And it's not just all about winning. It's like, how do you function? Like, he won a league title when we didn't expect him to win a league title with a team that should not have won a league title. That's one. He saved several teams from litigation. Pep never done that. That's two. So really, I can't really think of any, if you just want to do trophy talk, then fine. I don't know. Slick Rick is the greatest football manager of all time because he got the most jewelry. How about that? Fuck it. So
You
yeah,
know, I
coach is
know
right. Pep sucks.
you want to know. Do you want to know what I know? What Pep doesn't have? Don't got no
Here.
Intertoto Cup
Yeah, exactly.
Ranieri got one?
and the Super Cup.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Look, Intertoto Cup is like that's pure Ipswich heritage. Like the last time Ipswich was in the Premier League, that's when the Intertoto Cup was still around. I think Fulham as well, like played in it as well. Like
Newcastle won it.
yeah, Newcastle. But it's what I'm saying. Nobody cares because everyone's talking about 70 years without a trophy, and they didn't mention the Intertoto Cup.
When a trophy is named after Yoruba slang for, okay, it's Ramadan, I'm chilling, but I'm just saying I understand why people don't respect this trophy. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, there's a picture, and I need everybody to Google it. Go Google Scott Parker and Intertoto Cup. He's literally holding up a plaque. It's like something they give you for completing your, whatever, your basic certifications if you want to become an engineer. That's what they give. He got his C++.
Hey, man. Hey, man, when Scott Parker go to LA, you know what they're gonna say about that nigga? He's certified.
Coach, give us the standings so we can go to France.
Indeed. So Inter now with beating Atalanta, good for you. Woo, yeah, I'm so big. Whatever. They're on 64 points. Napoli are second, 61 points. Atalanta 58 points. Bologna, shout out to them, man, 53 points. Form team in Italy. I'd say them and Roma actually. 53 points, and then Juventus 52 points. Lazio on 51 points, around at the top six. Yeah. I just want to say Milan on 9th, right? And they've won their last 2 games, but yeah, they probably aren't making Europe.
It is tight in the Intertoto League.
League PSG beat Marseille in Le Classique. Dembele, Mensch got a goal. They were up 2-0 from there. Gure pulled one back, but there was an own goal. And yeah, you'll see at the end how far wide the standards are in France. This is why we're speed running through it, because it's the Paris Saint-Germain open tournament. Nantes beat Lille. This is what we were referring to earlier, which coach tried to rudely interrupt me. Now we're in France. Jonathan Day did not score, but Moses Simon set an assist for 10-man Nantes. Beat Lille 1-0.
Boring.
That's exactly what your defense was doing. That's why they couldn't stop the cross, because they were sleeping.
Hey, personally, I thought Jonathan David should have done something about that, but I don't know. Like, that game was wild because Lille, I mean, neither team really dominated. It was just kind of there. Then not got a red card. Then that was the point where Lille decided, you know what, we're gonna let them score. Or really, let's be honest, let's give credit where it's due. Moses Simon harnessed the power of Obafemi Awolowo and ran down the wing and put in a mathematical cross
Gosh.
onto the forehead of an Egyptian homophobe who nodded the ball into the nets, and 3 points to Nantes. It was very lovely. Matter of fact, Moses Simon should be Nigeria captain. How about that?
How about you go to hell?
How about I'm already there? Hello, Texas.
Oh man, Angers, they lost 2-0 to Monaco. Mika Barrett continued his reign of terror. Coach, talking about Mika Barrett and his ascension in Liga.
Coach don't want to talk about him because he thinks
It's Ramadan. He don't talk about white men during Ramadan.
Yeah, he
No,
thinks
no.
Marino better. That's what it is. Like, Marino's better than him, right?
Yeah. I don't know what you're asking me though.
Should we call a friend, Gabby?
Listen, okay, put like this, yeah. There's no player Gabby has ever suggested to me that I've ever thought, you know what? Maybe she's right. I'm sorry, it's just not happening. So no.
Man,
I mean, put like this. Put like this, yeah. Put like this, yeah. Put like this, yeah. Mika Beerf, right? I think he was at Sturm Graz. He had like glowing reviews at Sturm Graz, whatever. Like, ever talks about him in one way or the other, right? Fantastic finisher. We know that already. Like, we genuinely do know that already. Young players that leave clubs, whatever club they are, right? Most of the time, they're leaving because the club do not want to keep them. Like, I'd say probably 95% of the time, the club themselves do not want to keep them. Whether the club's right or wrong, different story. But the club themselves do not want to keep them, right? For the other 5% that back themselves, like for, let's say, an example, Chida Obi kind of thing, right? That back themselves say, you know what, regardless of what the club offers me, I'm still going to go anyway, kind of thing. Them guys, good luck to them. But when we talk about, oh yeah, this player should have, this player like this left us, we should have kept him, blah, blah, blah. The club didn't want them, bro. And probably for good reason as well. The clubs are at a different... You have to remember, the clubs have put themselves first, right? They're at a different phase to whatever phase the player is in their career, in it. So it's like...
It's all about timing. Timing, really.
Exactly.
It's all about timing.
Yeah, it's timing. It's 100%. It's timing. Like, so I'm not mad at us letting him go. Like, I'm not mad at us letting Balogun go. We got like 40 million for Balogun as well, kind of thing. Like, it happens, and we'll be getting Harry Amar soon. So it is what it is.
What did you say fuck me for?
I'm just saying that.
He already signed his professional contract. What you say fuck me for?
Wait, you actually signed?
Ben signed his professional contract, and he made his debut today. Yes. Yes.
Don't
Now
don't
get your
worry.
hands up. Get your
Don't
filthy
worry.
paws up.
Don't worry, Andrea Bertz, I got something for you. Don't worry about that.
We got ointment for that. Let's go to get some standings.
As we
Come
said, can someone count for me? What is 68 minus 49? Because that's the gap between PSG and Marseille.
That is 69.
um, and Monaco and Nice are right behind them on 47 points each, right? And then it's actually really tight between there and seventh. So Lyon, Lille, and Strasbourg are all on 45, 44, and 43 points respectively. This is kind of looking like Italy all of a sudden. That is mental.
Oh, like that's like the intertotal section of the table.
Okay.
Carabao Cup final. It's the first major trophy for Newcastle since 1969.
Whoa. What's this major shit? Like, is it major or not? Like, come on now.
Hey,
Like,
listen, they were saying after the game they're doing all that Howay shit. So I guess it means something. They're like Howay Newcastle. I was like, I guess.
hey man, fuck them hoe ass niggas. Like, this is still a minor trophy, okay? Like,
So is the
I'm not,
intertotal.
I'm, I'm not being funny here, but if you win a trophy, right? If you win a trophy and you still have to play at least 8 to 12 games before the season finishes, that's not a major trophy. I'm sorry, it just isn't. Like, you win a trophy, really, you should be like the next day. There should be a parade, right, bro?
okay. Let me ask you a different question. Then
Go on.
let's shift the conversation a little bit. Which trophy is more important, the Community Shield or the
Community Shield.
Carabao Cup?
Community Shield. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's Community Shield as well. Because Newcastle have literally never ever won one, so that's why. Um,
Yo, fellas, what happens to a hate watch when you hate both teams?
you you find joy somewhere. Because to me personally, not that I was rooting for Liverpool, but I was rooting for a Newcastle loss, right? And when I realized that wasn't happening, I'd say probably around 20 minutes into the game, I realized Newcastle got to win today. I was like, I was like, okay, where can I find joy? Let me observe Mo Salah. Oh my goodness, 0 XG generated today. Incredible. Let me look at Gravenberch trying to hoop with actual wrestlers. Not today. Like, let me look at VVD getting poleaxed and suplexed by Alexander Isak, or 20 kilograms of him. Like, it was incredible.
Bro,
You know where I took my joy? I was making slot jokes. Talking about slotted out.
yeah, I seen VVD out there, man, moving around like he got an STD, man. It was crazy, man. Like
Yeah,
every
they got,
time that
they
boy
got beaten up.
swings at Isaac, he
Yeah.
just loses control. He cannot. Like, it's funny. Like the one factor that makes me say, okay, maybe he is worth the money is the fact that every defender in the league shits their pants around him. That is invaluable, which is why we can't pay less than 200 million for him. So if that's the case, we can't do it. That's my logic.
Yeah.
He's too expensive.
So put it like this: moving away from, I suppose, what Arsenal, what any other club wants to do, kind of thing. The final today again backs up the running theme of today's pod that European hangovers are a real thing. Um, there was no way I could have expected this performance from Liverpool today, like, at all. They were terrible. I mean, so bad that to me it looked like they were the team that had never been in a final, that had never won a final for like 70 odd years, something like that. They looked shell shocked. I keep saying it again and again. As much as I love Alexis McAllister as a footballer, he cannot. When there's other midfielders on the pitch that are bigger and stronger and they can actually play football as well. I mean, half of Guimaraes can play football, I suppose. He just gets dominated every single time. Once the physical match is there, he just gets dominated every single time without fail. Literally, last season was the worst example I think of it, when Jurgen Klopp for some reason sent him to his death to the Lions then against Declan Rice in midfield. It
And
was horrible, and it
they,
keeps on happening to him.
they tried to get Zubimendi. They couldn't get, like,
Oh,
Klopp did what he had to do, like he sacrificed an Argentinian. Why would you be mad at that?
that is true. That is true.
Hey, coach, let me tell you something,
Go on.
right? It's not easy being
Mhm.
Dutch and trying to win a major trophy in your first season and being bald.
Oh gosh, here we go. He's gonna win the Premier League. That's more than that bald idiot would ever do.
Is he though? Is he? You see,
bro. Like, okay. Let's not make no bones about it. There's Liverpool are not bottling the league, and if they do, good lord, good lord, have mercy on every one of this. Have mercy on Bill Shankly's soul. Like, if they bottle the league, but I don't think they will. But yeah, just on today's game in general though, like there is a world where Chiesa's goal turns into a Liverpool comeback, and I think that's probably the only goal he's probably going to score for Liverpool. I'll say. And that's the way these sort of things go, and he probably won't be at the club next year. Like they're gonna get rid of him,
So
yeah,
one way
he's
or the
not
other.
cooking the pasta.
Yeah, they're gonna send him back to Italy on loan, and then eventually it'll peter out, and then he'll get a permanent move back there.
he's
But
gonna.
he got his goal.
He's so good at Bologna in the Champions League. He's gonna be great.
That's gonna I can see that actually. But he got his
Yes, he goes.
goal, and what annoyed me was that they took forever to give that. And I was thinking he's clearly on side. What are we waiting for here? So you've now taken away Liverpool's momentum, right, for the sake of drama. That makes no sense. The moment you could see like Stockley Park, wherever it is, or I'm not gonna swear actually, so my bad. Like wherever it is, right? Give it go, and then you waiting for the referee to do the announcement. Who cares about the referee's announcement? Who cares?
Oh,
Just get on with it.
they wanted to slip one of those into a final, guaranteed. That was their
Pathetic,
chance to
man.
do it, and it had a chance before that, so they're like they're gonna do it there because it was so dumb. He was so clearly onside.
Did they do it for the Isaac offside goal, or where Bruno Gomares was
I
offside?
don't remember the referee speaking on that. They just kind of moved on after they made the announcement or
So
whatever.
it was just it
Or
was, it was just weird to me, man. It was just weird to me. But
You
the
know how?
overall, gone.
No, go.
I would say Liverpool's momentum, because momentum is pretty much everything in football. They have to win against Everton. Not saying they're going to put the league, but if they don't win against Everton, kind of thing, then their next game becomes very, very important. Because if they don't win against them again, against whoever they play next, kind of thing, now it's like, okay, we haven't won. We've lost in the Champions League. We've lost in the Carabao Cup final, and we haven't won in 2 games now. What's happening? They're going to end up making it a slog to get over the line in the league, and I personally don't want that. I don't want any hope. I want them to just quickly get over and done with. Personally, yeah,
we will be there. We will be there.
yeah,
You know,
you might be. I'm not.
I
I've
will
tapped
be
out there,
there.
man.
I will be there. I
I've,
still
I've,
you know
I've
believe.
tapped out, man. I'm looking at big ears right now, man. I can't even lie.
you know how in America we have Project 2025. What about Project Newcastle? No, they won a major trophy.
Uh, I don't know, man. I don't know what this does for the sports watching, but I don't think really changes anything. I do think it gives any player that's at Newcastle that has aspirations to go to a different team at some point in their career, maybe next summer even. I feel like this trophy gives them cover because they've done something for the club that hasn't been done since the moon landing or whatever the hell. So and that it works in that respect. But otherwise, I just don't really see. I mean, for Newcastle fans, it's probably great because it's sort of a validation of the new ownership and all that shit. But for the rest of us that know what's going on, that pay attention to the news and the world around us, like I mean, like this doesn't make me want to go to Riyadh, like or to the Riyadh Air Metropolitano to go watch a game or something. I don't care, man. But that's also because I just got my passport back from the U.S. government, and I'm not really sure if it's valid or not, given everything going on right now. So we can move on.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's move on to.
I
Okay.
think finally they're just on Newcastle, like not even on some hater shit, but regardless of what them winning today or whatever, if their best players want to leave, they are going to leave. Like this
Wow.
summer, next they are going to leave. Like Newcastle don't have it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't. Like they could, yeah. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna make Champions League this season anyway. But
They don't got the juice, bro. They don't got.
they haven't got the juice, man. Like yeah, shout out to Alan Shearer and that. Like, but it is what it is. Like a Carabao Cup is not gonna change the fact that Bruno Gomares is probably gonna leave at some point, and so is Alexander Isak. So enjoy your cup in it.
We're gonna speed through some of these Premier League games. Everton West Ham was 1-1. So this game, you know how you guys ever saw the Mark Jacobs by Mark Jacobs for Mark Jacobs, that tagline? This game is for David Moyes by David Moyes with David Moyes, and so it's just with David Moyes. That's really what
Against
the
David
game was.
Moyes.
Yeah, that's why it ended up 1-1 because they can split the Moyes together. So that's really it.
The Wayne Derby has.
The what?
He just remember that iftar is in like 1 minute. I gotta go eat some Wayne right now.
Let's be clear here. Akara is superior to Moi Moi. I will not be elaborating any further.
Hey man, you don't have to, but maybe your doctor will.
Ipswich to Nottingham Forest 4. Anthony Elanga had a fantastic game with a brace. Morgan Gibbs White, he actually did get called up to England, actually. He was actually called up today. Yeah, they called him Morgan Gibbs White. So he's with the national team now. So
Everything feels right in the world. I can't think of a more deserving midfielder, at least among the ones that are not established in the team. So I'm happy for him.
yeah, all I know was trolling Elanga after the game. They got such a beautiful buddy relationship over there. So, go for Nottingham Forest. They're just flying, doing vibes over there. City,
Can we just for a second just stop on there for a second? So here's the thing, right? We spoke about Newcastle, the sports washing, whatever stuff like that kind of thing. Let's not forget what Nottingham Forest did as well. Like, I'm not hating, I'm not being a grouch or anything like that. But guys, we have to. If I want to be onto City the way I've been onto City, we have to be consistent and be onto Newcastle that way. We have to be onto Nottingham Forest as well. Like Nottingham Forest essentially cheated their way to where they are now.
They
There's
did a
no
Chelsea.
again Chelsea as well. There's no feel good story there. Like it's cool, I suppose. They won the Champions League or European Cup twice in like the 70s, whatever. Okay, that's cool and shit, but it's not like that anymore. And the simple fact is, they rolled the dice by breaking the rules, kind of thing. Got lucky by staying up, even though they had points deducted, kind of thing. And now they're here. You see what I'm saying? Like,
They stole my sporting director, man. I don't like these
yeah,
niggas.
what is it is what it is. That I don't care about. But I just want us to be clear. Whenever we talk about Nottingham Forest, we cannot like escape that fact. We have to caveat it. So it's cool with it. I love Ola Aina. I think he's fantastic. I love kind of Hudson-Odoi. Like, I think he's cool. I think Murillo is great as well. But again, these players, would they be there if certain things didn't go certain? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Would these niggas be there if there wasn't an underbelly?
it's an underbelly. It is an underbelly.
I will say, to add to Coach's point before we move on quickly, if you ever look up Nottingham Forest's owners Wikipedia, there's a whole entire page dedicated to criminal activity. Let's move on to Man City. Speaking of criminal activity, they tied Brighton 2-2. The biggest thing I can take away from this game is that Carlos Baleba is something else.
He's selling. That's what he is. He's selling because he should have won this game. He had the best chance at 2-2 to wrap this up, and he blasted over the bar. And I'm sure as he was walking down the field to get back in his position, where he was dominating every City midfielder, like he did in the last fixture when he came off the bench at Brighton, which they won. Was that 3-0? I don't remember. In any event, I'm sure he like winked at Pep like, "Hey man, I looked out for you. So this summer you better look out for me because he would be lovely in like Pep. If Pep can just get over his the only black midfielder I'll ever like is Seydou Keita thing, then yeah, Carlos Baleba would look very good in that midfield. I'd be scared if they got him for sure.
Southampton Wolves was 2-1 Wolves. Wolves were 9 points clear of relegation. Southampton are bad. Okay. Just straight up and down bad. There's no other rhyme or reason. 9 points is still 2 behind Derby from 07-08. Do you think Southampton will get 2 points before May, guys?
No. I'm actively rooting on a downfall because I'm the kind of person that once you see something going a certain way, I want to see the extreme of it. Let's see how far the rabbit hole goes in it. Let's just see how bad can it actually get. That's where I'm at, kind of thing. So yeah, let's keep peeling that scab.
You sound like Vince Staples. If we're gonna get negative, let's get all the way
No,
negative.
let's just go all the way. Let's just see. Like, that's where I'm at. Let's just see how bad it can get. Can they lose points? Can they deduct points? Can they get like 0 points one way or the other for being so bad?
I'm just saying, like, no matter what happens there, I just need Tyler Dibling to be freed. That's all I ask for. The rest we can keep. Tyler, get him out of there.
You know exactly where he's going, man. Like,
Tottenham.
that's just Tottenham all over, man. Like,
He seems like a Chelsea player to me. He can be one of their 25 wingers that will not score any goals.
yeah, I actually don't see that happening. Actually, no, I don't see it.
He actually was at Tottenham and came back to Chelsea and came back to Southampton.
Yeah, but there we go.
That
Like,
he not going back to Tottenham. Then he knows what it is. He can't go back.
No. He was at Chelsea and then he went back to Southampton.
yeah, so, yeah, I think it's definitely Tottenham. I really think I think it's Tottenham. And if not Tottenham, I'm gonna stick my neck out and say Brentford.
That's
I,
a
That would be smart. I
yeah,
would like that for him, but
I
that's
want
a
to say
good
Brentford.
segue,
Yeah.
we
coach.
shall see.
So
We shall see.
that's a great segue, coach, because Brentford beat Bournemouth 2-1. We were praising Areola a lot, but do we think Thomas Franks gets his flowers enough?
On this pod, I think so, but overall, probably not as much as he should. I think part of it is the reason why I've taken the piss out of him saying it as well. But like every press conferences are where the little horse. You know, they've got defenders on 500k a weekend. You know, I've had to decide what if I got to pay for my electricity or heat my house this week. Like, what I'm saying? It's just like stuff like that. You know, it's just like that doesn't help his cause. Like we know you're you manage Brentford. Brentford are not a huge club by any stretch of the imagination. I don't even think Brentford have ever won a major trophy, if I remember correctly. In fact, like we know what Brentford are, kind of thing. But you're a fantastic coach yourself, so take pride in that. Is all I say.
Well, all I'm saying is that if United had hired him, they wouldn't be 13th in the table right now. That's all I'm saying. So they'd be 18th. But let's move on.
Arsenal beat Chelsea 1-0. By the time you hear this, the Arsenal edition will be out. Coach wasn't on that one. It was with Mitch and his new haircut with Dean. Coach, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, man. Like Moses Caicedo can't count, and he's a shin kicking crap footballer. Don't like him. You guys might not see in your spaces, but in this wonderful country we call England, there's conversations about him. There was early in the season about him being the best midfielder in the league. Oh, he's better than this this midfielder or that midfielder. He's better than England's best midfielder as well. It's just like it's weird. Like he's not that level. Moses
That
Caicedo, his best qualities all come from him hurting the opponent physically. Like he's not a great passer. You know what I mean? He's fat as well. Like he's just not, and he can't. He said this Arsenal squad has been together for 7 years. For 7 years, bro. Like really, when Miles Lewis Skelly was 12 years old or 11 years old. Like really, like it's just stuff like that really annoys me. Man, saying that they were the better team today and stuff like that. I watched this game on my phone. Like I probably say I watched a good chunk of it, and Arsenal probably, if we were going to use a boxing analogy, we jabbed them to a unanimous judges win. Like we just jabbed them to death basically. We didn't have to get out of second gear.
first game.
Pretty much. It was a boring game, but we pretty much just held our arm out to them to like try hit us if you can basically, and they couldn't. And that's 1.5 billion pounds worth of talent, might I add, by the way, and they couldn't do anything. So yeah, shout out to Marino for getting the goal. Martinelli looked spry today. I won't even lie. I did enjoy him today for sure. But yeah, Caicedo's rubbish.
Fuck Chelsea.
Well, I have nothing to add besides the fact that Chelsea lost. Fulham beat Tottenham 2-0, and I loved it. This game first half was boring, extremely boring, but they lost 2-0, and Ryan Sessegnon scored a goal, really good goal actually. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. Tottenham are 14th. They lost 15 games already this season. Is it over for Ange? And also after the game, most of you guys saw this, right? These fans were talking crazy to Ange, and Ange basically they said, respect your elders. That's basically what Ange basically said. He basically respect your elders, and you try to go full Yoruba on the person, and it's not working.
I'm gonna co-sign that every fucking day of the week. You should respect the elders, because they'll be dead soon. That said, I think you can't really. I don't know. Here's my thing with Ange and coaches like him in general. I don't like the idea that people spend a lot of time bitching about the way the game has changed, and they've removed this from the game and they've removed that from the game. Like we don't have any sauce anymore. Like we killed
Fabregas.
all that kind of shit. Like people complain of that constantly, but what it takes to get that back in the game in this era of the game is a stubborn personality like Ange. And if I'm a Tottenham fan, I'm not pleased that my team's results have been sacrificed on the altar of Ange's ego and on the altar of playing interesting looking football. But it's not so much the 15 losses for me. It's just that they haven't looked particularly good for large chunks of the season. And I know they've had a lot of injuries, but at the end of the day, if you're not going to win games, you better entertain in a positive manner. So if I'm a Tottenham fan, I might not be the biggest Ange fan at the moment, but I think they need to be patient with him until at least next January, I would say. Personally, I would like that, but I'm also an Arsenal fan, so you don't know if I'm being facetious or not. I don't know.
All I know is they stink. You know who doesn't stink this week? Man United got their second win back to back. Went away to Leicester, beat them 3-0. Leicester have not scored at home in 7 straight games in the Premier League. It is dire over there. It is bad. Yeah, Man United got another win, up to 13th now, moving on up. Probably the best performance we've had in the Prem this year, but it's because a really bad Leicester team. Bruno, that guy has been on a mission ever since they talk crazy about him. Aiden Heaven unfortunately got hurt. He looked good until that injury. Christian Eriksen has no legs whatsoever.
Or here.
Yeah, he's physically cooked. Rasmus Højlund finally got a goal, and he was moving spry. I like the goal because he had enough time to overthink it, right? But he didn't. He chose the right decision and finished it. So that was good for him.
Waiting for a miracle. It happened.
Dalot played on the right, and he looked better.
No, I forgot about my man. Has it really been that long? Oh my god.
Yeah. Last time he scored a goal for Man United was in December, Rasmus. Yeah, Harry Mas made his professional debut on his birthday today.
Eat your Arsenal, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. So good for him. But yeah,
Amass them minutes and come over to a real team, nigga. Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, Casemiro's been rolling back the clock too. Ever since what's it called talk shit about him, Jim. Casemiro's like, oh, I got something to show you. So good. So
and fuck Chelsea, fuck Sir Jim, fuck everybody. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. United, and by the time you guys hear this, the main edition should be out too. So we got that on deck for you guys. So me and I had a great time talking about our team, because we're not the crisis team going into international break. That would be Chelsea or Tottenham.
I think it's Liverpool personally.
I won't lie to you. Like, any other context, you'd be right, and I'm not gonna completely disagree with you. But yeah, crashing out of the Champions League and losing the cup final in the space of 4 or 5 days, your international break is gonna be looking very, very bleak at Melwood. They've got to be rallying themselves, saying, yeah, well, at least we got the Premier League like for like 2 weeks straight. By then, no one's gonna care. Like, we know the league's been won. We're still gonna cuss you anyway. That's just the game.
Fucking bottlers.
And their coach is like a Harkonnen.
Oh man, this was a good weekend, guys. This was a good weekend.
It was. It's great. And then now we got Nigeria to ruin us on Thursday. Coach, can we get the standings before we head out of here?
Yeah, Liverpool, good for you, man. Yeah, you're in first place, whatever. Good. Arsenal are second on 58 points. Nottingham Forest are only 4 points behind Arsenal on 54 points.
It seems corrupt to me, but
it just feels weird. Like, Arsenal have had a shocking 3 weeks. Last week,
underbelly.
Well, yeah, last 3 results prior to this was just horrible, man.
Interesting.
Yeah, Chelsea are on 49 points. City are on 48 points. Newcastle on 47 points, and Brighton on 47 points. Fulham, Aston Villa, and Bournemouth are on 45, and 44 points. Absolutely insane. Yeah, absolutely insane.
We love to see it.
By the way, something we didn't talk about, we usually don't talk about in here. There was an NWSL debut yesterday. You know how old the young girl was when she made her debut in NWSL?
Oh god,
14.
Well,
this is the Shirtless Plantain show, not the Shirtless Nun show. Can we just go?
that is true.
I can't believe it, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, the people breathe and do things. Yay.
We're out. Everyone take it easy. Y'all got anything you want to add? Nope. All right, we're out. Everyone take it easy. Peace.
Hey folks, this is Deen from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.